Hello. With warmth in our hearts and excitement in the air, we welcome you all to the seventh and last session of the workshop. Respected guests, esteemed colleagues, and dear participants, I take this opportunity to welcome our eminent guests to the dais. I request Dr. Partha Ganguly, sir, Senior Professor in the Department of Economics, to come to the dais, sir. I request Dr. Monmi Bora, ma'am, to felicitate Dr. Ganguly, sir. Now I request Dr. Dipankar Gogoi, sir, IQSC coordinator, to come to the dais. And I request Madam Bini Soikia to felicitate Dr. Dipankar Gogoi, sir. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to this significant workshop organized by DHSK College Autonomous. This workshop has marked not only by intellectual collaborations, but also by the gracious presence of our distinguished guests, whose contribution and insights will certainly enrich our academic community. I request our organizing committee member, Ma'am Hannah. Khond, ma'am? Not yet. Following the felicitation, we move on to the address speech. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Ganguly, sir, to address the gathering and share his reflections as we close today's workshop.
Good afternoon to you all, my colleagues sitting here, friends, our IQSC coordinator. Indigenous knowledge system, which we call IKS. We know that we started as an integral part of our education system from 2020. But before that, we, in this hall itself, we had Professor Mahadevan, who was the curator of this entire system, has delivered a lecture, and I was the IQSC coordinator here in this particular hall. And now Professor Mahadevan has become an expert and a very important person in the entire IKS system. And after this workshop, I hope you all know that Indian system, which we had traditionally for the last so many years, I know thousands of years, we are trying to integrate it with our Western and the modern education system. This is the prime motto. And having said this, we know that it has been divided into a number of parts. So like Ayurveda, everybody knows it's a part of the system and we are going to develop it. Along with this, there are sports, 75 of them in total at present, which has been highlighted. Some of the names I even don't know, I have not seen. Kho is a part. We know it's a old traditional game. Then we have got, we call it Kabaddi. Kabaddi is also there. So these are also, this knowledge system is also coming inside us. And we are studying our temples and how scientifically they were organized. These people might have got the knowledge of everything from physics to chemistry. They can play music. All the towers they can do. So all the architecture. So everything we are going linear, we are going horizontal. Everywhere we are trying to integrate it. I have been a part of this process through an organization. I have been organizing these programs in various schools and colleges. Our Kalpana Baidu is here. She was also one of the members with this. And at present, we are also organizing from here. I am organizing a program in IIM Shillong. Their induction program for students, which they are doing this year. What they are doing, they are taking Indian crafts. 5 crafts will be coming to them. They will teaching the students the crafts, different crafts, like Kalighat painting, like Madhubani paintings. So all these and the color combinations, how the Indian system have evolved those in those years. They are studying that. Even you will be, if I convey this, that our Majuli Mukha mask, Majuli mask, this time we have taken them to IIT Hyderabad. And they were intensively studied, recorded, and documented there. So he was Hemchandra Goswami, and everything was documented. So this system is going on. Then now the manuscript, which is from Majuli, that how in the Hasi path, how they did this thing, these are getting documented. So we are trying in so many things to integrate in the Indian knowledge system. And music also is being a part of it. So it is also being taught in the induction program. It is also included all these things: music, instrumentals, vocalist, and crafts. So this is how this IIM is trying to portray the Indian knowledge system, integrate it to the student, give it to the students, so that they can get a best result. And in the combination, they also make friendship with their other students and all the other seniors in their institutions. This is the induction program they are doing. And similar kind of induction programs is taking place in other universities as well. In our Dibrugarh University is trying to do this in the month of, actually not induction, it's called Virasat, in the month of November. So these are all induction programs. These are all the systems are taking. And I am a very much part of it because I am practically doing these things, and I could see the responses from the different students community, different types, like higher education to even to the schools and even to the government schools. So it is bringing a change. We are trying to understand our system for so many years that we have not tried it. So I hope I won't bore you much, but I understand that you have gone through a lot. You have taken so many classes. So you have adapted the system. With this, I would welcome our guest also today here. And I hope that instead of me, you listen to them. Thank you.
Just now, our chief speaker has arrived, Valmiki Srinivasa Aryangaryaji. I request our organizing team to help them come to the dais. our organizing committee member, Dr. Monmi Bora, Madam Bini Soikia, and Dr. Mosumi Hazarika, to felicitate our chief guest speaker, Valmiki Srinivasa Iyengar, with a Seleng Sador. With a Seleng Sador, a Fulam Gamusa, a memento, and a collection of books on behalf of our college. Please, sir. We have with us retired Professor Kalpana Khon, ma'am, DHSK Commerce College. Please, ma'am, come to the dais. No. I request Dr. Monmi Baruah to felicitate ma'am with a Fulam Gamusa. Now I request Dr. J.P. Pukon, sir, Professor, Department of Physics, to come to the dais, please. Please, sir. I request Soyanika Gogoi to felicitate sir with the Fulam Gamusa. Now I request Dr. J.P. Pukon, sir, to say a few words, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out a few minutes for us, sir. Please, sir, two.
Thank you, Lakhima. Good afternoon, everybody. It gives me immense pleasure to stand in front of you in this honorable valedictory session. This last 7 days, I think you people, academician people, are benefited immensely by exchanging the ideas and growing the knowledge through this indigenous knowledge system. Recently, according to NEP 2020, this indigenous knowledge system also introduced in our syllabi. So we will be very helpful through this workshop. I really thankful to the organizer to give me the chance here by standing in front of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Valmiki Srinivasa Iyengar, sir, a renowned expert in plant Ayurveda from Tamil Nadu. Sir, your presence today is a true honor, and we are eager to hear your thoughts on this deeply relevant field. So, we can start the session. Yes, sir.
read that and because quotations are there. Dongle. I will give you a dongle. You can take it to the WhatsApp. You want to the WhatsApp? I will give you. Tell me the number. I will send you that. No problem. It's a very old book. First book published on rickshaw. Tell me the number. Number. During the ancient times, when India had about more than 600 what they call it as samsthanas, That means the kingdoms. The kings, their main role was to rule the kingdom, serve the people, serve the mother nature, keep kingdom in a good condition. There are various skills, various duties to be done by the people. So for that, king had arranged like what you call it as a college, a department, a university, like that. They had arranged it like that. There are so many technologies that were involved. Like earlier guests were telling about sports, then again Ayurveda medicine, then Dhurvidya. So like that, there were so many systems, even shipbuilding and house building. So amongst them, one is called as Vriksha Ayurveda. Normally when we come across so many ancient texts, they are in Sanskrit majorly. And I have seen them in some South Indian languages because I am from Bengaluru. And even there we see in Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, etc. So these can be, today in today's name, we can classify it as encyclopedias of those particular kingdoms. So in those encyclopedias, so many subjects of the mundane nature and spiritual, everything has been mentioned. Everything has been mentioned as a single chapter. They call it as Khanda, Adhyaya. So amongst that, this Vriksha Ayurveda, this also mentioned how to grow the crops and how to treat the crops when they are sick, when to sow, when not to sow, and what are the methods of cultivation. Everything has been mentioned, very simple languages, all in Sanskritam and local languages. I have not seen other parts of the country because I have not traveled, that's all. So in that, this Vriksha Ayurveda was one. That means the treatment of plants. So this, luckily, during the British regime, this book was published from Kolkata. This is one called as Sharngadhara Paddhati. This Sharngadhara Paddhati, Sharngadhara was a chief minister or a prime minister of that king. Somewhere in this, what you call it as, in Madhya Pradesh, some area like that. So there, the Sharngadhara Paddhati, he has mentioned what are the king duties, what he must do, how you know. Like you must have been familiar with our famous Kautilya's Arthashastra. Kautilya's Arthashastra is also a encyclopedia. Similar to that, various kingdoms, various places, various timings for a period of 1,000, 2,000 years. Those have been written, documented. And during this time, during the British regime, they tried to unearth all these things, translated to English, translated to Hindi also. So during that time, this book called as Upavana Vinoda. Upavana means garden. Vinoda means rather many of the words are not in the regular meaning. It means how to enjoy the life of gardening. We can understand in that way. For the king. So in that process, this Upavana Vinoda talks of treatment of plants, growing the plants. This is the first one book which was published in 1935. So like this, in so many books, so many encyclopedias, we can see this. Even this Kashyapa, rather, our Kautilya, he mentions about agriculture. Like that, in this context, this have been mentioned in our civilization, culture over the past so many years. So this is what our earlier speaker was called as Indian traditional knowledge on plant treatment. This is also called as Vriksha Ayurveda, also called as Taru Bheshajam. Taru means a plant, Bheshajam means the treatment. So in this Upavana Vinoda stands as a unique book. It talks about why to plant the trees, where to plant the trees, where not to plant the trees, what are the benefits of planting trees, and if any tree or plant is sick, if it is not coming up, growing up, how to treat that. Then, especially if you talk of annual crops like paddy and other crops, how to do it, what about irrigation, when to irrigate, when to sow the seeds, everything has been clearly mentioned. In fact, this has been mentioned through the link of Jyotishya also. So what are the nakshatras to be planted, what are the days to be planted, what are the tithis to be planted, what are the months to be planted. So like that, everything has been mentioned very clearly and explicitly. Here, I will read some of these things, what have been mentioned. It will be interesting for you that this has been mentioned so long back, 1000 years, 2000 years back. This is what is the, and many things this concept has been mentioned in brief in many Puranas. Agni Purana, Bhavishya Purana, then Vayu Purana, but they have been brief. Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, they have been brief. They are not in depth. Whereas these encyclopedias, they are in depth. So I came to know this about in 1990s. Because this was the book first published in Bengaluru in 1994, republished again. Then I came to know about this book, I was interested. And I started these experiments in a small scale. And I found that all these things, what has been mentioned, is true. In fact, I follow this system in my agriculture very meticulously. And I have got the results also, very good results. Here, what this Upavana Vinoda talks, I will tell you. Planting of trees. Why the trees need to be planted? Perhaps you will be surprised. Planting one tree is equivalent to 10 sons in life. Can you believe that? Difficult to believe. But that is the equivalent that he has given, that is the importance these people have given for tree plant, right from that age. And here, the author says, the beginning he starts with this. How to plant the trees, what tree to be planted in which direction of the house, and all those things they are mentioned. So here he says, I will explain the meritorious and reputable art how to explore springs to obtain water. Just as the veins of and arteries in the human system carrying blood up and down, so there are passages within the bowels of the earth at different depths carrying water. Here what they have mentioned is what we call today as underground water, Udakargalam. That is mixed in this Vriksha Ayurveda. Because they know that water and plant, they are together. So that has been mentioned here. Then he talks about planting various trees in the kingdom, in the houses, in what type of houses you must make, everything has been mentioned. So, after this, he treats the plants. Number one question comes is the sowing. Number two is the transplantation. Number three is the manuring. Number four is the protection. Number five is the harvesting. So here, they say that all the planting needs to be done in Ashada Masam or Jeshta Masam. Jeshta Masam means normally Chandramana. I think people know Chandramana. Do you know our, what you call it as Panchangam? In this, perhaps here I think you follow Sauramana. Am I right? You follow Sauramana. That is as per the moon's, sun's movement. So normally I think you follow the first year as 14th of April. That is Sauramana. Bihu. That is Sauramana. Whereas Chandramana is as per the movements with Chandra. Normally here he gives as per the Chandramana. Because Chandramana is very widely practiced in the other parts of the country. Even in North India also, many parts of the country, except for Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and some part of this, all are Chandramanas. So here he says Ashada Masa planting has to be done. How come Ashada Masa comes? It is the rainy season. So in the rainy season, you have to plant. And he gives the watering, how to water. Because normally, you know, they used to build up what you call it as tanks, talaus. So from that, they used to do that. Similarly, they used to store the rainwater when the rain is coming. They used to store it and they used to put it to the. So these are all very clearly mentioned how to do it. And this is the book which also talks of nourishment and Kunapa water. Normally, we all know that composting, vermicomposting, cow dung, or dung of another animals. Here he talks of something very peculiar. The origin of manuring the soil, a necessity for the nourishment of plants, can be traced as early as a verse to Atharva Veda, he says. But a more elaborate instruction in manuring is given in Brihad Samhita, the Agni Purana, then Kriti Sangraha, etc. Here, you'll be surprised. He calls it as Kunapa Jala. Kunapa only, not even Jala. This is made out of blood, meat and marrow, etc. of the animals. He talks of animals of Varaha. Varaha means what? Pig. What you call in your language for Varaha? Gauhati. Meat of that. Then he talks of fish. Then he talks of even cattle also he talks of. Whereas people may find it something peculiar. Bone meal, whatever you call it, like that. And it's so surprising that it is unbelievable for anyone. But they talk like that. So there, so much of is described and all are in simple words. Here, I will just quote something from this book that could be interesting. And this book also talks about what you call it as Vichitri Karanam. Now we are all aware of seedless fruits. And we are all aware of what you call it as grafting. But this is not new to us. It talks about grafting. It talks about grape. And he talks about another one, how to make the crop, annual crops, which are 3 months, 6 months crop. Make it 1 year, make it 2 years. That also he gives. This is called as Vichitri Karanam. So here, he says, importance is given for tree planting. He says, better to have a tree planted by the wayside where many rest under the shade than to have many sons born who are devoid of wealth and virtue. I told you, children and the plant. This is the one. Then he says, who desires for pleasure should plant a garden full of fruit and flower trees and is destined to go to the abode of Shiva and resides there for many 3 ages, he says. 3 ages means we call it as Janma, like that. Here, life as well as spirituality, as well as plant, as well as water, as well as environment, everything is blended here. And when it says one should plant trees with the full knowledge of these particulars, inasmuch as from trees proceed virtues, material prosperity, fulfillment of desires, and salvation, all these 4 sovereign things, that is for the king. Allah says, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, lives for generations in the house of a man who plants the bilwa trees, particularly favorite with Shiva. He who plants Ashwatha trees after proper methods, no matter where, goes to the abode of Vishnu. He who plants Amalaka trees reaps the fruit of constant asceticism and giving the earth and of many sacrifices. He who plants after a proper method 2 banyan trees goes to the abode of Shiva and is waited on by the gods. So like this, the importance of planting trees and even the materialistic life and even after death, those have been mentioned here. He also says, I've seen this tree here. He who plants 6 Shirisa trees by the wayside attains to the abode of Garuda and spends his days there in as much as pleasure as the gods do. So the relation of plants, relation of life, relation of the next generations, they have been clearly mentioned. So with this, they also mention about the 6 types of soils. One is the, what they call it as Anupa, Jangala, and they call it as Maru. In Anupa there are 2 types, Jangala 2 types, and Maru 2 types. Anupa means the wet soil. Normally that is used in paddy cultivation, sugarcane cultivation, etc. Anupa means wet soil, what you call it as? Soil. Always, for paddy you need that wet soil. Not humid, not humid. Like in paddy field or a sugarcane field. Like, here in this state, I've seen this part. Always the soil is wet. Wet. Anupa. Jangala means dry. Dry during the hot season and even dry during the wet season. Only it will be moist, that's all. And Maru means, Maru means desert. Sandy loamy, they call it as, sandy loamy, that. It is that soil. So there he is mentioned. And what are the trees that can be mentioned in those places? Because in Assam, mango. You cannot grow many trees which grows in other parts of the country. Because the weather and the moisture, they are different. So he mentions what are the things to be done in Anupa, Jangala, as well as Maru. Maru means perhaps I could give the example of Rajasthan and Gujarat. They are the best examples of that. See, and also he says you must not plant any tree of about 100 meters in the periphery of the house. It is banned. Why is, number one, the roots that will damage the basement. Number two, the temperature does not reach the house. So the insect attacks, the virus attacks may come to the humans. So he says 100 meters, no planting of the tree in the vicinity of the house. Third thing is, the tree falls, if the tree falls, there will be damage to the building, damage to the people, damage to the cattle, etc., animals that are grown there. So it is that. Second one is, in which directions you have to plant the trees. Normally, the major trees that are planted in the kingdom are Ashwatha, then Vata, then Nimba, then Kadali, like that. All of you, I think, know Ashwatha. Vata also you know. Nimba also you know. And Kadali is the banana. Out of all these things, perhaps everybody would be surprised that this theory is no more a theory. It has been practically implemented on a large scale. Perhaps you people may not be aware of it. It has been adopted in this place only, in Abali. That is Rowing Abali, Arunachal. For the first time in the world, we adopted this in a tea garden. Year was 2004, 2005. All the problems in the tea garden were solved. And I am a new man to the tea at that time. Today I am an old man. 20 years back it was implemented in this part of this country. Large scale. It was about, first it was about 80 acres, then it became 200 acres, then it became another 200 acres. And here what we have one surprising for anyone is what we have mentioned about Kunapa. That formulation, even here they mention one thing, they call it as Kunapa eva sarva taru poshakaha. That means Kunapa is the nourishment for all types of plants. So here we found that whatever the current definitions called as modern science, as somebody was talking about blending modern and ancient science, you are talking about that. It is the blending. What you call it as manure, pesticide, insecticide, fungicide, whatever you want it. Only one. There is a heavy infestation where the current day experts say difficult to control or not able to control. Here this comes. We call this as Guruvani because we have changed the methods not as per the books. We have changed because of the practical difficulties. This takes care of any highly infested plants. Large acre, we have solved it. As our Kalpana Tai was telling, Vriksha Ayurveda addresses environmental problems. Agreed. Today, the whole world is worried about the environmental degradation. Vriksha Ayurveda addresses that problem. This is the brief introduction of Vriksha Ayurveda to you people. Right? Anything, if you can ask, I am here. Rather, I am more a practical man who has implemented the project in Abali for Vinod Saharia. I think some of you know Vinod Saharia. For him, he had done it. Tea. It's a tea garden. It's a tea garden only. Tea garden only was, it was converted into organic. No, no, no. The entire organic methodology was rather invented there. Everything is there. See, you are using so many chemicals, so many urea, that, DAP, so many things. All are not there. We make the input, this what you call it as Guruvani there itself. We use it. And it has taken care of all the problems. No, no, it's all liquid. Liquid in form. Liquid in form, and we use it at only 1%. It was done 20 years back, 2004, 2005. I myself, he invited me to convert his garden into organic. I did it. All the technical management issues, everything was addressed. And today also, no sickness, nothing. The plants, nothing. In fact, he asked me, you come once here for about a month. Because I had not come here. More than, I think, 10 years I had not come here. Now I am implementing for various crops, especially in South India, especially in Karnataka. Paddy, coffee, what you call it as mirchi, various crops you are doing. This is the treatment. This is the treatment. We have treated that. We give the what we call it as Ekadashi. Ekadashi is the what in your terms we call it as what you call it as spraying. We give that spraying. In fact, I have done it long back. I did it in 2008.
The session is over. If anyone has any queries,
What urine? Cow urine available, we use it. Cow urine, cow dung.
any
everything
questions
is
from
used.
the audience?
Everything is used.
Online also, if anyone has any questions for Valmiki ji.
That also. Yes. Any clarifications you want?
কোনোবা যদি ফুল চুল লগাই কিবা আছে যদি কওক
See, this is practically implemented, being implemented, more than theory. This is the plus point. In fact, I had practically started it somewhere in 1996. That was on a small scale, for about half an acre, 1 acre, 2 acres I was doing it, in my own place, for my own use. And majorly, you say, I am an inventor. Just is another invention of mine, that's all. Because many problems I handle it with new solutions.
মই সুধি আছিলোঁ জলকীয়া গছৰ যে পাতবিলাক যেতিয়া বেকা হৈ যায় শুকাই যায় সেইটো কাৰণে কি কৰিব লাগে যিটো মেডিচিন বনাই দিয়ে আয়ুৰ্বেদা মোৰ লাগিছে এইটো অৰ্গেনিক মেডিচিন সেইটো স্প্ৰে কৰিলে কৈছে ঠিক হৈ যায় ডিউৰিং একাদশী
We call it as Ekadashi. The treatment we call it as Ekadashi. We have our own words in Riksha Ayurveda.
Okay.
Agreed. Agreed. No. I will tell you my problem. Solution is there. But I don't have much trained hands with me. I have only one trained hand in this Abaliti state. And I cannot remove him from there. Whereas my people, we have got about 4 or 5 people, trained hands, all are in Bengaluru area, South India only. I don't have anyone here. So if, as an organization, if somebody comes forward, because it's not a small scale venture. It is not a one-man show. One man cannot do it. Like, a college cannot run with single person. It needs so many, what is that? Faculty, that, this, everything. So like that we can start, if we can start as a group, somebody takes an initiative, like what Vinod Sarya took initiative 20 years back where he didn't know anything. He said, I want to do organic tea, come on do it. Like that, it was a bold decision he took, very bold decision. And even my decision was also bold. To come to a foreign place, for me it is a foreign place. I don't know language, I don't know anything. And I implemented in tea. I didn't know what is tea also when I came here. I told him I don't know tea, but I will do it for you. And you'll be surprised. Normally, any such projects, normally it takes about 3 to 5 years to settle it to a technical success. If there is no technical success, you cannot think of economic success. But it was done in only one season, 6 months. Because the efficiency of the system and its adaptability and how we managed it was practically there only. I was practically there only for 5 years, 2000 up to 2009, I was here only. Going for only 1 or 2 months for my native place and come back again. Yes, other than me, there was no person who knew how to handle it. I have to be here because the project is more important than anything. If I had not done that project, I would have not sat here. Agreed? Agreed? I had no role. We can do it. I will tell you the major.
You can suggest something today.
I will tell you the major problem is. The major problem is I will tell you it is on the field. Like I told you today morning. It is on the field. People have to be trained first. Training has to be done.
Remedy is available.
Remedy is available. Even we can give the training also. Can give the training also. See, like some NGOs, some groups, they have to group. Like in your college itself, you should make a small NGO. In fact, I was suggesting one big institute. They were telling me about very huge institute. They were telling me about, sir, we don't have proper good quality vegetables. Though we are earning 5-6 lakhs per month, we are not having good food. And they have a land of about more than 100 acres. They could not do anything. I said, make a small, what they call it as a small group, as faculty group. Put some money, every money you put about 1,000 or 2,000. You have to employ the labor also. Do that on a small scale. Go for 5 acres first. I will give the know-how, I will do everything. Then do that like that. That whatever you call it as society, as group, these people will put the, what is that? Initial capital or whatever you call it as. Then they will start the work and they will sell the product to these people. You buy from them and make the group financially viable also. So you buy from there. So the production as well as the selling, there is no problem. And technology for growing, I am here. So they said they will do this year by July. They are already making that now. For a What is that? Tulsi. Ah.
How many times we can give water to a tulsi plant, or at which time is preferable? Usually we do in the morning, but can you give water in the evening or afternoon also?
Shall I tell you one thing? My experience of Tulsi in this area. Shall I tell you?
Yes, sir.
This Tulsi is the best I have seen. And it does not need water, it does not need anything. Anything. That is my experience with Tulsi here in this area. Little bit where there should not be water stagnation, that's all. See, in this area, what I have found is, whereas in the other parts of the country, I have found water shortage. Here, I am finding water excess. When I tell my people, we spend the money for irrigation. We spend the money for irrigation, drip irrigation, that, this pump, that pump, electricity, diesel sets, etc. We spend it for irrigating the plants. Here, I tell in the tea industry in Assam, no. They are spending the money to remove the water out. Am I right? Reverse. Excess water. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. We'll find out. We'll find out and solve the problem. See, it is not a one-day affair. Agriculture is not a one-day. It has been there since 2,000 years, and it will continue.
On behalf of everyone, I extend our heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speaker for such an enlightening and thought-provoking session on Upavana Vinoda. Your insight into the ancient wisdom of garden science have truly broadened our understanding. Personally, as someone who is deeply interested in gardening, especially growing vegetable, this session was particularly meaningful and helpful for me. We are grateful for the time, knowledge, and passion you have shared with us today. Thank you, sir. Now we will open the floor for experience sharing. Kunubar kiba experience amar online also. Experience amar workshop to keneka lagile.
We'll be here for another, I think, 1 or 2 weeks. Only nowadays I do through Zoom only. Here, because Vinod sir is a good friend of mine, good relation.
Good afternoon, everyone. ইয়াত অনলাইন অফলাইন বিশেষকৈ অফলাইন মানে যিখিনি পাৰ্টিচিপেট কৰিলোঁ বহুত নতুন কথা শিকিলোঁ ইট ৱাজ ইনফৰ্মেটিভ উই গেডাৰ্ড মাছ নলেজ এণ্ড ইট ৱাজ ৰিয়েলি গুড পাৰফৰ্মেঞ্চ থেংক ইউ ছ' মাছ
Those things we will handle. That is not a big. Those are all not big. Those are all not big problems.
নমস্কাৰ ইয়াত উপবিষ্ট সকলোজনকে মই নমস্কাৰ জ্ঞাপন কৰিছোঁ এই 7 দিনীয়া যি কাৰ্যক্ৰম এই কাৰ্যক্ৰমত মোৰ নিজৰ ব্যক্তিগতভাৱে যদি মই ক'বলৈ যাওঁ মই যথেষ্ট উপকৃত হৈছোঁ শিলালিপিৰ বিষয়ে মই যিহেতু অসমীয়াৰ এগৰাকী ছাত্ৰী আছিলোঁ তেতিয়া মোৰ মতে মই অকল লিপি সম্পৰ্কে পঢ়িছিলোঁহে কিন্তু সেই লিপি সম্পৰ্কে জনা তাক বুজা আৰু লিপিখিনি কিদৰে সংৰক্ষিত হৈ আছে আৰু আমি তাক কিদৰে সংৰক্ষিত কৰিব পাৰোঁ এই সকলোখিনি সম্পৰ্কে মই ইমান জানা নাছিলোঁ কিন্তু এই কৰ্মশালাত উপস্থিত থাকি মই বুজি পালোঁ যে লিপিসমূহৰ বৰ্তমানৰ গতি কি দিশে গৈ আছে আৰু মই উপলব্ধি কৰিছোঁ যে আমি যদি ইয়াং জেনেৰেশ্যনে যিটো AI মাধ্যমৰ কথা কৈ থাকোঁ সেই AI মাধ্যমত যদি আমি এই লিপিসমূহ যদি সংৰক্ষণ কৰাৰ কথা যদি ভাবোঁ তেন্তে আমি যথেষ্ট উপকৃত হ'ম আৰু লগতে আহিবলগীয়া প্ৰজন্মৰ কাৰণে যথেষ্ট উপকৃত হ'ব। ইয়াৰ লগতে আৰু মই যথেষ্ট ভাল পালোঁ যে কি আপোনালোক সকলোৱে জানে যে মই য়োগাৰ লগত জড়িত। সেই ক্ষেত্ৰত যি প্লান্ট আয়ুৰ্বেদাৰ কথাটো যোৱাকালি বাইদেৱে যি কৈ থৈ গৈছিলে মানসী বাইদেৱে, मैं जथेस्ट एक्साइटेड आसलूँ। सर आपसे मिलने के लिए मैं बहुत ज़्यादा एक्साइटमेंट में थी क्योंकि मुझे बहुत जानने का मन था कि प्लांट आयुर्वेदा होता क्या है और आप किस हिसाब से उस चीज़ में काम कर रहे हैं। तो मुझे जान के बहुत अच्छा लगा आज कि एक्चुअली प्लांट आयुर्वेदा होता क्या है, क्योंकि मुझे बस पता था कि आयुर्वेदा होता है जो नॉर्मली ह्यूमन बॉडी के ऊपर काम करता है। मुझे एकदम पता नहीं था कि प्लांट के ऊपर भी कोई आयुर्वेद होती है और उस चीज़ में काम होता है। एक ऐसा तो होता है कि हम कुछ कुछ चीज़ें करते हैं जो आयुर्वेद में इंक्लूड होता होगा, लेकिन हमें पता नहीं था कि उसको भी आयुर्वेद बोला जाता है। तो मैं डेफिनेटली ट्राई करूँगी कि प्लांट आयुर्वेदा के ऊपर और ज़्यादा जानने के लिए। थैंक यू सर एंड थैंक यू एवरीवन।
Not only that, just not the Ayurveda means there are various branches in Ayurveda. They also call it as, for the plants it is called as Vriksha Ayurveda, for the animals Pashu Ayurveda, and for the elephants it is called as Hasti Ayurveda, and for the horses it is called as Ashwa Vaidya. Ashwa Vaidya. Even you'll be surprised, Vaidya for Kukuta is also there. Kukuta. Kukuta means what? Poultry animals. Hens. What you call? Kukuta is a Sanskrita word. Murgi, yeah. Okay. So for everything there is there. But what has happened is, this Vidya has not been given the attention by the people. Even this Vriksha Ayurveda, Hastya Ayurveda, attention has not been given. Rather, we have been going through the, whatever call it as the Western methods, and this has been not taken care of. That's why when I looked into it, I said, this is like an orphan knowledge. Nobody has looked into it. So let me look into it. And there, because of my inventory approach, I have been able to, in this invention it is called as, I think you all know it, reading between the lines, not reading the lines. It's called as reading between the lines. So I was able to read between the lines. There are so many other encyclopedias also. All mention a chapter on this. Luckily, what has happened is, in South India, some universities have taken an interest in getting it translated to Kannada. Because a lot of funds were given by the state government to translate that to Kannada. So from Sanskritam to Kannada, lot of books have been. Like there is another book called as Lokopakaram in Kannada. That is the Kannada version of Brihat Samhita Varahamihira. So that is also a 1,000-year-old book. So like that, perhaps there could be some book in your language also, in your literature also, I don't know. There could be. And if you can find out, if you can unearth that book, I think I can help in the translations, etc. Because many of the words in any Indian language, something similarity is there, what I have found. I found something similarities. Even I found Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Sanskritam. But in Assamese, I find something. For me also, people talk about Assamese, but I cannot understand it so quickly as you can understand it. I find there is a relation in Sanskrit. Somebody came with me that, I was surprised. Gaika Kheer. Gai Kheer. Not understanding what he is telling. I can tell me, kya hai bolo? Gai ka doodh. Oh, Go Kshiram is Gaika Gir. Oh, understood it. See? See? See, because of my that Sanskrit, what is that? Knowledge, I've been able to understand, oh, he is telling of cow milk. So like that, I can help you that if it is in this, it must be there. Perhaps one may have to unearth that book. Luckily, I will tell you, in today's what has happened is, this internet, as you rightly told, you download book. Internet has helped a lot to get those old books, even in palm leaf manuscripts, you can get it. We can unearth it. I think that should be there. I don't know. No, already many books. In fact, if I want to search for a book, I search in the internet, gets very fast. Like that, one may have to look into it. If that can be, somebody can take the initiative, it will be good. Because all are academicians, that will be a good thing, service for the, what is that, literature and the country and the culture. That is what needs to be done.
Yes. Now I request Dr. Dipankos Gogoi sir, IQSC coordinator, to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody present here. Our senior professor, Dr. Partha Ganguly, the Department of Economics, Dr. Jyoti Prasad Phukon, the Associate Professor, Department of Physics, and the guest for the valedictory functions, Mr. Balmikiji, other faculty members come from different institutions, along with the faculty members of the Kane College, and all the participants who participated in online and offline modes. At the very first, I will thankful to all the participants who have joined this 7 days national workshop on Indigenous, the knowledge system, relevance in digital age. Without your participants and cooperations, we are unable to complete the whole program. Thank you against all the participants, and I hope in the near future we will organize another programs, and I will the very from your end, then you will join and we will help us. From these workshop groups, there are 91 members in this group, and from that, I think more than 80 participants will participate in the workshop. As a huge numbers of the workshop, huge numbers of participants participate in this workshop. And the 12 lectures are given by the different experts from different fields. And when we read out your comments and the feedbacks, the most of the participants they say it's a good, they organize, good, the richest persons, and they have also mentioned that they have benefited from this workshop. And most of these participants commented on it. And what I feel, the 70% of the people, they have joined the workshop in the online mode, and 30% of the participants just joined the offline mode. Especially the first day session was a keynote address given by the Anand Sharma. He's from Gujarat, and secondly, the eminent literature professors from the Department of Assamese Dibrugarh University, the head, Dr. Bhimkanta Baruah, and বহুতে কৈছে যে Bhimkanta Baruah sare যিখিনি কথা কৈ গল অসমীয়াৰ এজন মানুহে ইমান ধুনীয়াকৈ কথাবিলাক কৈ গৈছে গতিকে তেখেতক কিন্তু বহুতে প্ৰশংসা কৰিছে ময়ো তেখেতৰ কথাবিলাক শিকিছো বা চালো পঢ়িলো বা এজন অসমীয়া শিক্ষক হিচাপে যে whatever he delivered this was excellent গতিকে মই সেইটো খুব ভাল পাইছিলো আৰু যিসকল পাৰ্টিসিপেন্টছ তেখেতলোক মোক কথাবিলাক কৈছে তাৰ পাছত আহিছিলে হাসি পাঠৰ কথাৰ ওপৰত the preservations কেনেকৈ কৰিব লাগে how to preserve আমাৰ কথাবিলাক তেখেতে কেনেকৈ লিখিব লাগে যেন লিখন হৈলি আছিলে যাৰ ৰাইটিং যোনটো স্ক্ৰিপ্ট আছিল কেনেকৈ কৰিব লগা হয় he will also give a very good session on that topic. আৰু সকলো কথাই তেখেতে স্পষ্টকৈ কৈছিলে, ভাল লাগিলে। তেখেতে হেণ্ডছ অন ট্ৰেইনিঙো প্ৰেক্টিছ কৰাইছিলে। যি নহওক ইমানখিনি কৰাৰ পাছত আমি সাহস পালোঁ আপোনালোকৰ পৰা এই অনুষ্ঠানটোত কৰিবৰ বাবে। এণ্ড আৰু ভাবোঁ ইন ফিউচাৰ ইউ অলছ' আমাক ইনস্পায়াৰ কৰি all of participants that inspires us to that we will be organized and such a good program. Okay. আমাৰ এই প্ৰগ্ৰেমটো কৰোঁতে আমাৰ মহাবিদ্যালয়ৰ অধ্যক্ষই আমাক যথেষ্টখিনি সহায় কৰিছে এই অনুষ্ঠানটো কৰোঁতে। গতিকে তেখেতক আমি ধন্যবাদটো দিবই লাগিব। বিশেষকৈ মই দুটা কথাত কৈ যাওঁ, আমাৰ ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টৰ হেড ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট অফ সংস্কৃত এণ্ড ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট অফ আছামিজ, তেখেতলোকৰ যদি কোঅপাৰেশ্যন নহ'লহেঁতেন আমি হয়তো ইয়াত কামবিলাক কৰিব নোৱাৰিলোহেঁতেন। এটা কথা মই কৈ যাওঁ, দ্য স্পেচিয়েল থেংকছ বুলি যদি কয়, দ্য ফ্ৰম অৰ্গেনাইজিং কমিটি এণ্ড এজ ৱেল এজ দ্য IQAC DHSK কলেজ, মই কিন্তু ডক্টৰ মন্মী বৰুৱা এণ্ড বিনি শইকীয়াৰ নামটো উল্লেখ কৰিবই লাগিব। মই বহুত সময়ত যদিও ছেশ্যনটো চলি আছিলে, মই দুটা প্ৰগ্ৰেম কৰিব লগা আছিলে বাহিৰত। দ্য ফাৰ্ষ্ট ভেকেঞ্চ মই গুৱাহাটী যাব লগা হৈছিলে, আৰু দ্বিতীয় প্ৰগ্ৰেমটো কৰোঁতে মই চাৰ্কিটত থাকিব লগা হৈছিল। তথাপি এই প্ৰগ্ৰেমটো it is I feel the whole
Open this, we don't know. We don't know how to open this. Oh, 1987. I didn't know. Good.
মই প্ৰথম যোনটো ইনাৰ টুৱেল প্ৰগ্ৰাম আছিলে, I will give some examples that means মই দুটা লেংগুৱেজ ইউজ কৰিছোঁ, সকলো যাতে অসুবিধা নহওক সেইকাৰণে মই কথাবিলাক কৈ আছোঁ। তাত কথা কিছুমান কৈছিলোঁ, আমি কেনেকৈ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰ্ছ বস্তুবিলাক আমি এপ্লাই কৰোঁ, দ্য এপ্লিকেশ্যন অফ দ্য আমি যিবিলাক ইণ্ডিজিনাছ নলেজ, আৰু এই কথাবিলাক আমি যদি এপ্লাই আমাৰ ষ্টুডেণ্টৰ আগত কৈ যাওঁ, আমাৰ গোটেই কথাবিলাক কিন্তু যি হয় আমি যদি ইণ্ডিজিনাছ যদি শিকিছোঁ, আমি মৌখিকভাৱে কৈ আছোঁ, আমাৰ মুখে মুখে চলি আহিছে, সেই কথা মই আগতে কৈছিলোঁ। আৰু ইয়াত যিখিনি কথা আছে, মই ইয়াত যিখিনি দেখিলোঁ, যিসকল ইয়াত এক্সপাৰ্টে লেকচাৰ দিছিলে, মই ৰিকুৱেষ্ট কৰিছোঁ যোনে কনভেনাৰ আছে তেখেতলোকে গোটেইখিনি লেকচাৰ এটা একলগ কৰি যাতে এখন বুকলেট হিচাপে তেখেতলোকে প্ৰকাশ কৰে, যিটো বস্তু থাকি যাব। আৰু এইটোৱে হৈছে আমাৰ ৱৰ্কশ্বপৰ এটা প্ৰগ্ৰেমত যোনটো আমি আপোনালোকৰ প্ৰিজাৰ্ভেশ্যনৰ কথা কৈছোঁ, হয়তোতো প্ৰিজাৰ্ভ হৈ থাকিব, কাৰণ আমি নজনা কথাবিলাক তেখেতলোকে উল্লেখ কৰিছে, সেই কথাবিলাক যাতে ষ্টুডেণ্টে গৈ পায়। দ্বিতীয় কথাটো হ'ল, আমাৰ ইয়াত কিন্তু বহুতক দেখিছোঁ কষ্ট কৰি হ'লেও বৰষুণ দিয়াৰ সময়তো আমাৰ বাইদেউসকল বহি আছে, তেখেতলোকে আহিছে। আৰু এটা কথাই কৈ যাওঁ, তেখেতে পিন্ধি অহা ৰেইনকোটটো কিন্তু আজি তেখেতলোকে আজি ঘূৰাই লৈছে, কিমান আগ্ৰহী আছিলে। মই ভাবোঁ আপোনালোক নিশ্চয় উপকৃত হৈছে, আৰু ভৱিষ্যতে আপোনালোকে আমাক সহায় সহযোগিতা আগবঢ়াব। মই কথাবিলাক এইখিনিয়ে কৈছোঁ, কিন্তু আৰু এটা কথা মই কৈ যাওঁ, আমাৰ ইয়াত যিসকলে অফলাইনত তেখেতলোকে পাৰ্টিচিপেট কৰিছে, মই তেখেতলোকৰ পৰা এটা কমেণ্ট জানিব বিচাৰিম। জাষ্ট আপোনালোক আহক, জাষ্ট ইউ শ্বেয়াৰ ইয়ৰ দ্য কমেণ্টছ। আমাৰ ভাল লাগিব আমি যেতিয়া অৰ্গেনাইজ কৰিছোঁ, গতিকে কেইবাজনো আছিলে, গতিকে আপোনালোক আহক, এটা কওক, ভাল লাগিলে নে বেয়া লাগিলে, সম্বোধন নকৰিলে একো নাই। আৰু আমাৰ বিশেষকৈ এটা কথা কৈ যাওঁ, আমাৰ ক'ত ফল্ট হৈছে, মই এইটো কথা নকওঁ যে আমি শুদ্ধকৈ কৰিব পাৰিছোঁ, আমাৰ কিছুমান ভুল হৈ গৈছে। মই প্ৰথম দিনাখনে এপলজি খুজিছিলোঁ, যদিও এতিয়া ভুল আছে, মই আকৌ এপলজি আপোনালোকৰ ওচৰত এপলজাইজ হৈছোঁ। যদি আমাৰ ভুলবিলাক আছে আপোনালোকে আমাক ঠিক কৰি দিয়ক, আৰু কথা আমাক যদি কৈ যায়, আমি ফিউচাৰ যিবিলাক কাম কৰিম, আমি আমাক শুধৰাবলৈ অলপমান সুবিধা পাম। মই বিশেষকৈ নকওঁ, আমাৰ তিনিগৰাকী আউটছাইডৰ পৰা আছে, বাইদেউ বাৰু ক'লে, তেখেতলোককো জাষ্ট এটা লাইন কৈ যাওক। ধন্যবাদ।
নমস্কাৰ সকলোকে শুভ সন্ধ্যা জনাইছোঁ ডিব্ৰুগড় হনুমান বক্স কানৈ মহাবিদ্যালয়ত আয়োজিত 7দিনীয়া কৰ্মশালাখনত উপস্থিত থাকি সঁচাই নিজকে ধন্য মানিছোঁ পোনপ্ৰথমে মই এই কৰ্মশালাখনিৰ আয়োজক সমিতিক ধন্যবাদ আৰু কৃতজ্ঞতা জ্ঞাপন কৰিছোঁ কাৰণ ইমান ধুনীয়া এখন কৰ্মশালা আমাক উপহাৰ দিয়াৰ বাবে তৃতীয়তে ইয়াত যিসকল সমল ব্যক্তিয়ে অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰি তেওঁলোকৰ বক্তব্য বা আলোচনা আমাক প্ৰদান কৰিলে আমি যথেষ্ট উপকৃত হৈছোঁ মই ভাবিছোঁ মোৰ লগতে সকলোৱে ইয়াত অংশগ্ৰহণকাৰী সকলোৱে নিশ্চয় তেওঁলোকৰ জ্ঞান অথবা উপকাৰ সাধন হৈছে বুলি আৰু বিশেষকৈ বৰুৱা ছাৰৰ যিখিনি বক্তব্য আমি এই কৰ্মশালাখিনিত পালোঁ সঁচাকৈয়ে সেইখিনিয়ে আমাক যথেষ্ট উপকৃত কৰিছে সহায় কৰিছে আৰু বহুখিনি আমি নজনা কথা জানিলোঁ আৰু সাঁচিপাতৰ যিখিনি কৰ্মশালা হ'ল সেইখিনিও যথেষ্ট আমাৰ তথ্যপূৰ্ণ আৰু অৰ্থপূৰ্ণ হৈছে তথ্যভিত্তিক যিহেতু চন্দ্ৰকমল চেতিয়া ছাৰৰ যিখিনি আমি বক্তব্য বা বিশ্লেষণাত্মক তেওঁ যিখিনি আলোচনা দাঙি ধৰিলে তাত সাঁচিপাতৰ যিখিনি লিখন প্ৰণালী আৰু বিশেষকৈ মহি প্ৰস্তুত কৰা প্ৰণালীখিনি আমি ইমান দিন ভালদৰে জনা নাছিলোঁ সেইখিনি কথা আমি শুদ্ধকৈ জানিলোঁ আৰু লগতে কেনেধৰণে সাঁচিপাতত আখৰ লিখিব লাগে বা আঁচ টানি টানি বা কতৰা মাৰি কথা তেখেতে উল্লেখ কৰিছে আৰু কিছুমান আমি যিখিনি শব্দ শুনা নাছিলোঁ তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ শব্দবিলাকৰ কথাও আমি গম পালোঁ সঁচাকৈয়ে আমি বহুত উপকৃত হৈছোঁ লগতে অংকশাস্ত্ৰৰ কথাখিনি আমি সঁচাকৈয়ে সুন্দৰকৈ জানিব পাৰিলোঁ কাইথেলী অংকৰ কথা শিকালে আৰু জ্যোতিষশাস্ত্ৰৰ বিষয়েও কেইবাখনো পুথি অধ্যয়ন ইয়াত আমি সুবিধা পালোঁ বিশেষকৈ ষষ্ঠীবিদ্যা নামৰ পুথি কথা উল্লেখ কৰিছে আৰু আছিলে পাহৰি গৈছোঁ অলপ লগতে কালি যিখিনি ধৰক এই ইউনিকড আখৰৰ কথা আমি গম পালোঁ সেইখিনিও যথেষ্ট আমাক উপকৃত কৰিছে গতিকে কৰ্মশালাখিনিত উপস্থিত থাকি যথেষ্ট আমাৰ জ্ঞান হৈছে বুলি গম পাইছোঁ আৰু লগতে সকলোৰে এইখিনি সুবিধা হৈছে বুলি অনুভৱ কৰিছোঁ এইখিনিয়ে কথাকে কৈ মোৰ চমু বক্তব্য সামৰণি মাৰিছোঁ ধন্যবাদ
নমস্কাৰ মই জুৰিমণি কলিতা মই আপোনালোকৰ এই ডিব্ৰুগড় হনুমান বক্স কানৈ মহাবিদ্যালয়ত অনুষ্ঠিত হোৱা 7দিনীয়া কৰ্মশালাত মই অফলাইন অনলাইন দুইটা মাধ্যমতে মই উপস্থিত আছোঁ আৰু আৰম্ভণিৰ পৰা আজিলৈকে ইমানেই ভাল লাগিলে আমি ইমানখিনি কথা জানিব পাৰিলোঁ আমাৰ যিটো ইণ্ডিজেনিয়াছ নলেজ ছিষ্টেম আমি আচলতে সদায় আমি বৰ্তমানক লৈ আমি জীয়াই আছোঁ ভৱিষ্যত অতীতটো আমাৰ কেনেকৈ আহিলে কিমান কষ্ট আৰু কিমান ত্যাগৰ ফলত আমি আজি এইটো পৰ্যায় আমি পাইছোঁহি সেই কথাখিনি আমি হিষ্ট্ৰীটো আমি ইমান ভালকৈ নাজানো এতিয়া ধৰক সাঁচিপাতৰ পুথিৰ কথা যিখিনি কথা শুনিলোঁ কি ধৰণে সাঁচিপাত প্ৰস্তুত কৰে আমি পুথিখনহে দেখিছোঁ কিন্তু তাৰ আঁৰত লুকাই থকা যিখিনি ত্যাগ যিখিনি কষ্ট আমি কিন্তু দেখা নাছিলোঁ এতিয়া আমি সেইখিনি ভাল ধৰণে আমি বুজি পালোঁ আৰু তেনেকৈ প্ৰত্যেকটো বস্তুৱে হিষ্ট্ৰীবিলাক আমি জানি পেলাই বহুত উপকৃত হ'লোঁ আৰু প্ৰেক্টিকেল যিটো নলেজ এতিয়া ধৰক আয়ুৰ্বেদৰ কথা প্লাণ্ট আয়ুৰ্বেদৰ কথাও কৈছে আমি আয়ুৰ্বেদিক বস্তুটো আমি তাৰমানে নেচাৰৰ পৰা আমি যিখিনি পাওঁ মেডিচিন সেইখিনি কথাও আমি জানিলোঁ কিছুমান কথা শিকিলোঁ আৰু মই সাধাৰণতে খুব ইণ্টাৰেষ্টেড এইবিলাকত মোৰ ভাল লাগে মই ঘৰত নিজৰ ঘৰতো এখন সৰুকৈ মানে কিটচেন গাৰ্ডেন আছে মোৰ চাদৰ ওপৰতে মই কৰিছোঁ আৰু তাত মই বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ আয়ুৰ্বেদিক মানে গছবিলাক মই মেডিচিনেল প্লাণ্ট মই বহুত আছে মোৰ বিভিন্ন প্ৰকাৰৰ আছে আৰু ইয়াতো মই বহুত কথা শিকিলোঁ আমাৰ মনোহাৰী দেৱী কানৈ মহাবিদ্যালয়ৰ মানসী শৰ্মা বাইদেৱে যিখিনি কথা কৈছিলে সেইখিনিও খুব ভাল লাগিলে প্ৰতিটো কথাই তাৰমানে আমি নতুন নতুন কথা আমি ইয়াৰ পৰা শিকিলোঁ গতিকে মই আশা ৰাখিছোঁ আপোনালোকে যিখন কৰ্মশালা ইয়াত অনুষ্ঠিত কৰি আমাক উপকৃত কৰিলে ভৱিষ্যতলৈও আপোনালোকে এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কিছুমান ৱৰ্কশ্বপ আপোনালোকে দিব আমি তাৰ পৰা উপকৃত হ'ম বুলি আশা ৰাখিছোঁ আৰু সেয়ে মই কানৈ মহাবিদ্যালয়ৰ অসমীয়া সংস্কৃত আৰু IQSC মই ধন্যবাদ জনাইছোঁ আগলৈও যাতে এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ৱৰ্কশ্বপ অনুষ্ঠিত কৰি আমাক উপকৃত কৰিব ধন্যবাদ
প্ৰথমতে উপস্থিত সুধীবৃন্দক সম্ভাষণ জনাইছোঁ কানৈ কলেজ আচলতে মোৰ নিজৰ কলেজ মই কেতিয়াও এখনক মানে দূৰৰ পৰা অহা অতিথি বুলি নিজে নাভাবোৱে ইয়াতে মই আছিলোঁ এবছৰ আৰু তেতিয়া অকল মই এটা বিভাগৰ নহয় গোটেইকেইটা বিভাগতে ঘূৰি ফুৰোঁ আৰু সেইকাৰণে একেবাৰে মোৰ নিজৰ কলেজ গতিকে কথাটো হৈছে যে মোক এটা বাহানা কৰি ইয়ালৈ আহিবই লাগে কিন্তু এতিয়া মূল কথাটো হ'ল প্ৰথমতে যেতিয়া গম পালোঁ মই দীপংকজ দাৰ এটা ফেচবুক পোষ্টৰ পৰা গম পাইছিলোঁ যে ইয়াত এনেকুৱা এটা অনুষ্ঠান হ'ব আৰু লগে লগে মই যোগাযোগ কৰিছিলোঁ তেওঁলোকৰ লগত মুনমী বাৰ লগত মই যোগাযোগ কৰিছিলোঁ তাৰপিছত ইমান ভালকৈ মুনমী বাই মোক গাইড কৰিছিলে যে মই প্ৰথমতে কিবাকিবি কথা জনা নাছিলোঁ কেনেকৈ আগবাঢ়িব লাগিব কি কৰিব লাগিব সেই গোটেইখিনি তেওঁ ইমান ধুনীয়াকৈ মোক বাট দেখুৱাইছিলে একেবাৰে তাৰমানে নিজৰ ভনীয়েকৰ নিচিনা মই বাৰু ভনীয়েকে একেবাৰে নিজৰ ভনীয়েকৰ নিচিনাকৈ মোক ইমান ধুনীয়াকৈ মৰমেৰে শিকাই লৈছিলে তাৰপিছত কথাটো হ'ল যে মই যিটো হাইব্ৰিড মুড ইয়াত সেইটো চাগে আটাইতকৈ মোৰ কাৰণে চাগে লাভজনক হ'ল কাৰণ মোক কানৈ কলেজলৈ অহাৰ এটা বাহানাও লাগে অথচ এতিয়া এনেকুৱা হয় যে বহুত সময়ত যিখিনি বিদ্যায়তনিক আমাৰ ব্যস্ততা যিখিনি আমি চাকৰিকালীন যিখিনি ব্যস্ততা সেইখিনিৰ কাৰণে সকলো সময়তে অফলাইন উপস্থিত থকাটো আমাৰ কাৰণে সম্ভৱ নহয় সেইকাৰণে অনলাইন আৰু অফলাইন মই যেতিয়া সম্ভৱ হয় তেতিয়া কলেজলৈ গুচি আহোঁ বাকীখিনি সময় মই অনলাইন এটেণ্ড কৰোঁ আৰু খুব ভাল লাগিলে গোটেইকেইটা দিনতে খুব সমৃদ্ধ হ'লোঁ ৰিচোৰ্চ পাৰ্চনসকলে আমাক ইমান ধুনীয়াকৈ বুজালে আৰু আটাইতকৈ ডাঙৰ কথা তাত্ত্বিক আৰু ব্যৱহাৰিক দুয়োটা দিশতে আমাক তেওঁলোকে সমৃদ্ধ কৰিছে কেৱল তাত্ত্বিক দিশেই নহয় সাধাৰণতে কি হয় যে অকল তাত্ত্বিক দিশৰ লগতে কথাখিনি থাকি যায় বিভিন্ন অনুষ্ঠানত কিন্তু ইয়াত ব্যৱহাৰিক দিশৰ লগতো আমাৰ প্ৰেক্টিছৰ লগতো সমানে আমাক পৰিচিত কৰাইছে যিটো আমাক বিষয়টো আচলতে ভিতৰলৈ সোমাই যাবলৈ আমাক সহায় কৰিছে আৰু আমাৰ যে যিখিনি ভাৰতীয় আমাৰ পৰম্পৰা ইমান আমাৰ এটা ঐশ্বৰ্যময় এটা পৰম্পৰা আছে ইমান সমৃদ্ধ এটা আমাৰ ঐতিহ্য আছে সেই কথাটো আমি পলে পলে এই কৰ্মশালাখনত উপলব্ধি কৰিছোঁ আৰু এইটোৱে আশা কৰিম মই একেদিন যেতিয়া ফিডবেক ফৰ্ম পূৰাবলৈ দিছে সদায় লাষ্টত এইটো বাক্যই লিখিছোঁ যে আকৌ অনুষ্ঠান এনেকুৱা এটা পাতিব লাগে গতিকে আৰু দীপংকজ দাই অৱশ্যে এইখিনিতে এটা তেওঁ ইংগিত কৈছে যে পাতিব গতিকে মই ৰাজহুৱাকৈ এইটোৱে কৈছোঁ যে বিচাৰোঁ আকৌ অনুষ্ঠান হওক আকৌ আমি এনেকৈ আহিম আৰু আকৌ আমি বহুত কথা শিকিম সমৃদ্ধ হ'ম সকলোকে ধন্যবাদ জনালোঁ
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected invited speaker, the dignitaries on the dais, and Kalpana ma'am, and the faculty members and the participants present here. The first and foremost thing I would like to say a big thank you to everyone and especially the organizers. To be frank, though I am a participant, but I was not actively participating in the workshop due to our departmental work and college work and activities, as we were, as all the departments of our college are very busy, as we has recently been declared autonomous, and also we are very busy, and almost, as I know, all the members or the faculties of our college are very busy these days. So to be frank, I was not actively present, but still I was online, coming and going. And I think that I would like to appreciate the organizers and big congratulations to them that they have very, in a way, what would I like to say, that means in a very disciplined way, and even I don't find any technical glitches also. That's the first thing, that it's online, and they didn't find any technical glitches, that they have very organized the workshop in a very beautiful way. And obviously, the first thing that attracts is the topic of the workshop. And as all the participants had said, that means how the workshop and how the resource person had been very insightful. The workshop has been insightful, the lectures has been insightful, and that is very, very commendable. Especially a great thanks to the organizers. As I tell them offline also, to my colleagues, they are my colleagues, whether juniors or seniors, that doesn't matter. I consider them to my colleagues. We all are same. That means the initiative that they have taken, is it the initiative they have taken, and that they are successful. I think that even though I was not there offline, but still today I was there, probably I had been called, or in a way I am here only to thank you all, and this is my word of appreciation to you all. Thank you.
Now we would like to felicitate Mr. Kakul Base Baruah for all the technical sessions. He was there throughout the workshop. Thank you so much. Ma'am?
কাকুলক এপ্ৰিচিয়েট কৰিছোঁ সি তেখেতে মানে আমাৰ লগত প্ৰথমৰ পৰা আজিলৈকে ইমান লগ দিলে ভাবিবই নোৱাৰি আৰু যিটো লগ দিয়াৰ কাৰণেহে আমি একদম একুৰেট টাইমত আমি লাইভত আহিছোঁ একুৰেট টাইমত আমি ৱৰ্কশ্বপখনৰ প্ৰত্যেকটো ছেশ্যন আৰম্ভ কৰিব পাৰিছোঁ প্ৰত্যেকটো টেকনিকেল কাম সময়মতে আমি হোৱাব পাৰিলোঁ গতিকে থেংক ইউ কাকুল ফৰ ইউৰ কাইণ্ড ছাপোৰ্ট আৰু এতিয়া আমি চিম্বলিকেলি যিহেতু আমাৰ অনলাইন পাৰ্টিচিপেণ্ট বেছি আছিলে গতিকে আমি চিম্বলিকেলি বুলিয়ে ক'ব লাগিব আমাৰ ইয়াত উপস্থিত থকা কেইগৰাকীমান অংশগ্ৰহণকাৰীক আমি চাৰ্টিফিকেট দিবলৈ বিচাৰিছোঁ আৰু তেখেতসকলৰ নামখিনি মই কৈ দিছোঁ এজন এজনকৈ আহি পেলাই ছাৰৰ পৰা চাৰ্টিফিকেটখিনি গ্ৰহণ কৰিব প্ৰথমে মই মাতিব বিচাৰিছোঁ ডক্টৰ স্বাতি কিৰণ ফ্ৰম আছামিজ ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট ডিব্ৰুগড় ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি Next, I would like to invite Seema Baruah, Madam. Then please come Dr. Deepa Gogoi. Yurimani Kolita, Madam, please come. অনলাইন পাৰ্টিচিপেণ্টসকলক জনাব বিচাৰিছোঁ যে আপোনালোকৰ পাৰ্টিচিপেশ্যন চাৰ্টিফিকেটসমূহ খন্তেক সময়ৰ পিছতে গ্ৰুপত শ্বেয়াৰ কৰি দিম আপোনালোকে কাইণ্ডলি একচেপ্ট কৰি ল'ব
Finally, this 7-day workshop will conclude with a vote of thanks to be delivered by Dr. Mausumi Hazarika, Madam.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, distinguished resource person, esteemed participant, and respected faculty members of the college, it is indeed an honor and privilege for me to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee of the 7 days national workshop on Indian Indigenous Knowledge System, Relevance in Digital Age, jointly organized by Department of Assamese, Sanskrit and IQAC DHSK College Autonomous in collaboration with Gauhati University. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our respected resource persons and speakers who have graciously accepted our invitation and shared their valuable insights, making this workshop intellectually enriching and thought-provoking. I sincerely, a special thanks to our esteemed Principal Sir, Vice Principal Sir, Dr. Partho Ganguly Sir, Dr. Jyoti Prasad Phukon Sir, and respected advisors of our organizing committee for their guidance, encouragement, and support in successfully organizing this workshop. I also thank this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the organizing committee members, IQAC coordinator, and faculty members, technical team, especially Kakul Baruah, and non-teaching staff, whose dedication and tireless efforts have made this event a grand success. A special words of appreciation goes to all the participants who have joined us from various institutions and different corners of the Assam and the country. And your sincere involvement and insightful questions, meaningful discussion, and enthusiastic participation have truly made this 7 days workshop vibrant and successful. Thank you once again for being such wonderful participation and making this workshop a fruitful and making experience for everyone. Last but not least, I thank Gauhati University for their collaboration and support, which made this national workshop possible. As we come to the end of this enriching journey, let us carry forward the knowledge and ideas shared here and work towards preserving and promoting a rich indigenous knowledge system in the digital era. Once again, thank you all for making this workshop a meaningful and memorable one. Thank you. এতিয়া আছে শান্তি পাঠ।
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
এটা গ্ৰুপ ফটো ক্লিক কৰিম কৈছে ছাৰে, আমাৰ দীপংকৰ ছাৰে। IQAC দৰকাৰী পৰিব সেইটো কাৰণে।